Hey everybody, happy Sunday. Hey everyone, and welcome to, what happened there? Welcome to Sunday. Happy Sunday. There's a coffee somewhere. Right here. From Tim Hortons, I think. No, the cup's from Tim Hortons. The coffee is my usual instant stuff. Gone through a lot of coffee in my life, and the Keurigs and all that. We had those, and I think it's just the best way to drink coffee is instant coffee. Maxwell House Classic or whatever. Is it Maxwell House? I can't even remember. I know it's crazy priced crazy because I buy a little jar like this and every week, and sometimes it's like $9 for this little jar, and then 2 weeks later it goes on sale for $4 and I buy 2 or 3 of them, which doesn't make any sense at all. It's like those people who buy 10,000 things of toilet paper. We're here to talk about music and guitars, and yes, I'm not a Gibson guy, but it does sound pretty good when you do. You know what's really cool about Bringing on the Heartbreak from Def Leppard? That chorus, he doesn't play power chords. He just plays single notes. He's like. So I don't know if that's the genius of Steve Clark or Pete Willis that was in the band at that time, or Mutt Lange, the producer, probably Mutt Lange. But amazing that was done that way. Was it Mutt Lange on that one? Yeah, I think so. I can't remember. Yeah, it was. Yeah, if the movie. I always talk whenever talk about Def Leppard. I talk about the HBO TV movie from the '90s, sort of, and it was called Hysteria: The Story of Def Leppard. I personally love it. It's been panned by the critics. The band hates it. If you're a fan of Def Leppard or just a fan of the '80s music, you should look it up on. You can only find it on YouTube through some guy in Europe that posted it, so you might see like German subtitles underneath it or something like that. But it's quite good, and it depicts the life, how the band came together, all the way up to Steve Clark's. It shows Steve Clark's death and stuff like that. I actually don't know if it does, but it shows his struggles. And Steve Clark's celebrated a birthday posthumous birthday anniversary on April 23rd. And, he had a troubled life with drinking, and obviously he had huge success, bigger than most metal bands or hair metal bands or the genre that he was in. Def Leppard's a little different. Like if you listen to Hair Nation, which I do regularly in Ozzy's Boneyard and everything else on Sirius. When a Def Leppard song comes on, it's different. It's not your regular chugging the A string riffs that you might hear from Brittany Fox or these bands that are on Hair Nation. Then all of a sudden Def Leppard comes on, and it's like, wow, some thought has gone into writing these songs, and some thought has gone into producing these songs, and it's different. And they are the biggest seller of all that genre, out of that whole genre that came out. And Bon Jovi is second, and Def Leppard is first. I don't know if that's an ever-changing number. That might be different now, but I think maybe from out of that era, they were the biggest, most successful, and both those bands had longevity too. And Def Leppard's still out there doing what they do, and they're an amazing band live. I've seen them many times live, and it's very polished, very good, very very to the point. I don't think there's too much enhancement, if you know what I mean, but they pare down the backing vocals to be very very doable on stage, because they were known for the huge backing vocals for Def Leppard. But Steve Clark, who passed away untimely from a drinking issue. It's all depicted in the movie. You want to see however true that is. I know the band didn't like the movie, so maybe it's not that true. But I know his struggle was, and he had lots of problems with his father, and having to live up to, I don't know, some crazy standard of his dad's, right? And I think we have to learn a lot from that, and when we treat our own kids, we can't do that, and we can't repeat history, and we just have to make sure you're being supportive of things to do. He was never supportive of his music and that kind of thing, which is sad, because they were one of the biggest bands, probably of all time. They're probably up there with everybody else, and they're still playing stadiums. So, yeah, Steve Clark, genius guitar player. He was one of those shadowy guys to the forefront of the leads, and then Phil Collen came in, and apparently there was a little bit of struggle at the beginning, who was going to be doing what, and then they kind of decided they were both very compatible, where Steve was kind of the bluesy traditional guy, Jimmy Page, that kind of guitar player, and Phil Collen was more of the glitzy, updated 80s kind of shred kind of thing. And then I heard that he auditioned for Def Leppard, Steve Clark, and just played the entire Freebird solo from front to back, and then got the gig. I think that's how he got the gig. Anyhow, but Def Leppard as a whole is, like I said, different sound, more into production. Wasn't afraid to break away from the traditional hard rock roots and do something different, and use some influences that Joe Elliott would say came from a lot of non-hard rock bands, and a lot of the new wave stuff in that, and then a lot of Mott the Hoople and some rootsy 70s stuff that was really good, and then they put all that into a big mess and put it out there on a heavy rock scale, and took the world by storm. I saw Def Leppard on their first headlining tour, Pyromania. Crocus opened, and Gary Moore. I missed Gary Moore. I told the story before. I'm not going to tell it again. And then Def Leppard came on, and was, they were young. You can tell they weren't as seasoned yet, but raw energy, and maybe they were on the big stage too early because they didn't know they commanded it. Some crazy people actually said that Crocus was better, maybe because they were more experienced live, but the songs definitely weren't. And but I'm glad I did see Def Leppard on the Pyromania tour, and everyone dressed in white with the Union Jack, and it was great. And then lately they've been playing. Obviously, Steve's gone, and Vivian Campbell, who has more tenure than he's been in the band for a long time, probably 35 years or something like that. Vivian Campbell, who's a tenured guitar player, had some health issues lately, but another Les Paul player. Yeah, I'm liking the Gibsons these days, but they're just too heavy. Anyways, cheers to everyone who loves Def Leppard and Steve Clark, and sadly an unsung hero. But his those first, you know, four albums of Def Leppard were probably the staple of their sound. A lot of there's a lot of division between people before, before Pyromania. High and Dry is some people's favorite Def Leppard. It might be mine. A lot of guitar driven stuff. First album's great, and High and Dry is probably the pinnacle, and when they're known for in the world of hard rock, that's probably the album that everyone loves. And there, I said it. Anyhow, switching gears. Hey, it's almost May, and the better weather hopefully is going to get there. It's still kind of cold out there, man. I don't know, but anyways, look for Keep the Faith and Bridge on Fire coming up in May. There will be some Toronto dates for Keep the Faith coming up in July. Anybody who's waiting around to see the band or whatever. There will be some. We're playing Ottawa. Ottawa's the first gig, in May, and then there's more to follow. Bridge on Fire. Everybody who's in the London area, please come out to Pierside on May 10th. I hope that's the right date. May 10th. Come on out, and we will be playing at Pierside for Brent and his amazing people down there in Port Stanley, Ontario. And please, please, please come on out. Please come out, especially our London contingent out there, and everybody who comes to see us at East Sides can go on down to Pierside and see us there. Anyhow, have a great, great, great Sunday. Listen to some Def Leppard for Steve maybe today, and take it easy. And when I see you next week, hopefully it's warmer. Hey, anyways, take it easy. Have a good one. Bye-bye.